Good morning, team. Today for our language arts lesson, you will need just your language arts packet and nothing else. So if you need to get that packet, then pause the video and grab that. Okay, boys and girls, welcome back. So we're going to talk about the last couple of pages in our language arts packet where we talk about non-fiction text features. Now, I know it seems like a really long time ago that we did this activity in class, but we actually talked about a nonfiction text feature. Now, nonfiction just means books that are nonfiction, and the text feature just means the different types of features that are shown in a nonfiction book. So today we're going to look at this nonfiction book that I had at my house. It's a Beginner's United States Atlas, and I'm going to point out some of the nonfiction text features in here that we see on our paper here. Okay, so these are all very common in all nonfiction books. Most of them have photos, right? It helps us see what something really looks like in real life. Okay. We also have something called bold print, and you can see it right here. It gives an example. The flower has a stem. That darker color word is what we call bold print. And usually, bold print helps me to know that this is an important word that the author wanted me to know. Okay, and most of the time too, you can find bold print words in a glossary, and we'll get to what a glossary is. It's another nonfiction text feature in just a moment. Some nonfiction text features will also have things called diagrams. And again, here is our description of a diagram. It shows what that real life object is and breaks it down by all its parts. So here it says word boxes that point to each part, which help me with the names of each part of the picture. So there is a diagram. Things in another nonfiction text feature is also something called a label. Label just points to objects that you may not know and then writes exactly what they are. Here our description is one word that points to a picture that helps me know what it is. So if you're not quite sure where the wing of this bird was, it's right here. It's pointing to it and labeling it. Most nonfiction text features will also have a table of contents. So it'll show you on what pages you are going to find certain topics of the book. So in here it says the description. It is in the beginning of the book, which is true, and it helps me find the topics in the book. So we did this before when we read about Martin Luther King. We looked at different pages of his life and we found it all on the table of contents. Okay. The index. Okay, index and glossary are kind of hard. They're sort of the same, but not really. Index and glossary are both nonfiction text features that are found at the end of the book. For index, if you wanted to find information on a certain topic, let's say, for example, ants, you would look in the index to find on which pages you can find that topic. Okay, if you wanted to know more about dogs, you would turn to the index and find out on what pages you would find information about dogs. In here, index is described at being at the end of the book, and it helps me find what is in the book, and it is also in ABC order. And you can see here, look at that, A, B, C, D. The caption. Caption, again, another nonfiction text feature. So it usually shows a picture in a nonfiction book, and right under the picture there's a caption, and usually that caption is describing what is in the picture. So here in the example we see a picture of a fish. A fish lives in water. That is the caption. It's describing basically what the picture is. And here it says it is a box that has information that helps me understand a picture. The glossary. Now I was talking about it when we're talking about the index. Glossary is also at the end of the book, But remember those bold words, those words to know? These bold print words are usually found in the glossary. And that's because glossary is kind of like a little dictionary. It tells us what these words mean. It gives the definition. So here we have fish, and it gives us the definition, an animal that lives in water and has gills. And our description of the glossary is that it is at the end of the book, and it helps me know what the words mean. Like I said, it's like a little dictionary at the back of the book, and it's usually for the words that are in bold print. And finally, you're going to see a lot of this in my example book here today, maps. Some of our nonfiction text features are going to be maps. So here we have a map of the state of Florida, and the map helps me see where things are in the world. Okay, so those are the main nonfiction text features. Today when we Zoom, we're going to be looking at some of them, like table of contents, bold word, pictures, caption, and glossary. The only thing that's kind of different is the heading. And the heading is usually just like a smaller title in a bigger piece of reading. So it's in bold, and it starts at the beginning of a paragraph, and usually it tells what the paragraph is going to be about. Okay, so that's a heading. Now let's take a look at some of these nonfiction text features in my book, Beginner's United States Atlas. And I bought this for Lily a while ago, but as you can see, we have hardly opened it. So maybe this summer we can look through it and see places we would like to travel to. So already on just let's go to the beginning here. Beginning, I have a nonfiction text feature already, and it's even titled right here, Table of Contents. So I saw my table of contents right here. There it is, my nonfiction text feature. And again, there it is. It has page numbers next to these different topics. So if I wanted to know more about the state of Florida, I would go to page 42. Okay, let's see. I'm going to open it right up to, ooh, this is nice. Look at that. I already see a map right here. Again, another nonfiction text feature. So we found the table of contents, we found the map, and I'm just going to check mark what we see in this book already. Here I have a couple of captions. I have pictures and pictures and more pictures down here. So I see lots of beautiful photos, and they're real photos. These aren't drawn photos. These are actual real life pictures. So my photos I've got, and right below it, you'll see that all the photos have captions. They're not inside of boxes, but they do have an arrow that is pointing to the picture, explaining what it is. So this beautiful picture here, the caption says, snow-capped peaks are reflected in a clear lake in Rocky Mountain National Park near Estes Park, Colorado. So that's what is being explained in this picture. Look at that. That lake looks like a mirror. It's beautiful. Here's another caption. Oh, of the great state of Hawaii, guys. And it's pointing to a real picture again. The caption below it is going to explain the picture. And it says, waves off the Pacific Ocean roll onto a beach along the shore of Molokai, one of the islands that make up the state of Hawaii. And here's Hawaii right here. So we already see lots and lots of captions just in these first few pages. Now, the bold print is usually a word that's darker, right? It's in a darker black color. But in this case, we have our bold words in different colors. So take a look at this caption here. It has a bold print word in blue. And we actually have seen this word before. It's deciduous forests. Do you remember when we talked about habitats and different types of forests? There are two types, right? There are deciduous forests, and oh, help me out, Mr. Santos. What was the other one? No, that's unfortunate. It's the one with all the pine trees, the trees that never die.
Evergreen.
No, but yes, those are the types of trees. The deciduous forests are the types of forests where the tree leaves fall off, right? And so here we see it in bold print. So there is bold print also in this book. We are left with diagram, label, index, and glossary. Let's see if we can find the diagram and label. Oh, I already see a label. I already see a label on this page. Do you see how we have a picture of the map? Do you see how we have an arrow pointing to something on our map? Here is a label. This right here is pointing to something in our picture to tell us what it's all about. Death Valley, lowest elevation in North America. And Death Valley is actually in the state of California, boys and girls. So maybe at some point you might be able to go there. And then here's another label pointing to something else in the state of Alaska. Denali, Mount McKinley, the highest elevation in North America. So the highest part that you can go to in America is at Mount McKinley. The lowest point that you can go to is in Death Valley. And these are labels pointing to parts that we don't know about the map. So here we see labels. Let's see if we can find a diagram, something that is labeling parts of a picture. So we're going to go and flip through our book. It's a beautiful book. Oh, I think I might see a label down here already, or a diagram down here. Lily, do you see it? A diagram?
Down there? No.
Right here?
There's too many things going on.
There's too many things going on. It definitely looks like a map. But let's see if I can find another one. And sometimes, boys and girls, sometimes there won't be a diagram. Or there won't be certain nonfiction text features in a book. Oh, look at this black bear. So cute. I'm going to flip through a couple more pages. And if we can't find the diagram, boys and girls, then there probably isn't a diagram here. There's a lot of maps, though. I see that. Look at that. And lots of pictures and captions. Lots of bold words, too.
I see lots of animals.
I see lots of animals as well. Lots of pictures of animals, right?
Yeah. In the bottom left corner, there's always like an animal.
Look at this one. There we go. And it even shows their state flag. Pretty nice. Pretty cool. Oh, very cool. Look! Wilbur. So I'm going to go through a couple more pages, guys. And like I said, if we don't see the diagram, then we just don't see the diagram. And that's okay. All right. So this book probably doesn't have the diagram. And like I said, that's all right. Let's see if it actually has an index and a glossary. So let's go to the back of the book because that's where we find those things. And look at that, guys. It's even labeled index. It does have an index. So here we see, again, the different topics and the page numbers right next to it. So if I wanted to find anything about earthquakes, again, it's all in ABC order. Look, it even put it A, B, See? Earthquakes, I'm going to find it on page 100. Let's just try it out. Let's go to page 100. Let's see if it's talking about earthquakes. Here we go. Fun fact, the most powerful earthquake ever recorded in North America struck Anchorage in 1964. 80 times more powerful than the 1906 San Francisco earthquake. It measured 9.2 on the Richter scale. Wow, that's a very strong earthquake. So there we go. We did find it. How about a glossary? Let's see if there's a glossary. I'm going to keep turning. Oh my gosh, you guys. Look at that. It's even titled at the top, Glossary, and it was the page right before the index. So it also has a glossary. That's great. And look at, remember earlier we were looking at the bold printed word, deciduous forests? Deciduous forests, it was right here in our caption. Check it out. In the glossary, there it is. Deciduous forests. Trees such as oak, maple, and beech that lose their leaves in the cold season. There we go. So, boys and girls, that's it for the nonfiction text feature video. I hope that jogged back some memories of when we did this in class. I can't wait to do the activity with you, which will be our nonfiction text feature scavenger hunt. And then I will explain how to do your must-do of the day, nonfiction text features. Create your own. I will see you all at 11:30.